Welcome to Timeout with Coach Mike Miller. Coach Miller is the basketball coach with the most wins in LACC history, coaching his teams to a national record of 14 straight conference championships, breaking UCLA's old record of 13. Coach Miller is the first basketball coach in California basketball history to win a state championship at both the high school and college levels. Coach Miller has been honored as Coach of the Year 18 times and has produced almost 100 Division I players. For the next 2 hours, get ready for stats, facts, rants, and your opportunity to chat with one of the most successful basketball coaches in the entire country and his friends. Timeout with Coach Mike Miller.
Hey, listening audience, welcome to our show. It is Time Out with Coach Miller. It's that time, Scott.
Yep, it's Freak Out Friday, too.
That's right. And
nice little earthquake today.
Little earthquake
on
today.
The way here.
Yeah, well, I felt it, and I understand that our building, we have a kind of a tall old building here. Our studio's in kind of had a little rough activity, huh?
Yep. I was actually underground in the subway, so I had no idea that there was a earthquake. And which is ironic because at my show last night, I learned what to do in the event of an earthquake while you're in a subway. So I was ready to actually take charge and be the big hero underground. But I didn't even know it happened till I showed up here and I saw our producer Jeremy outside. I thought he was just catching, a breath of air or waiting to let me in. And that's when I found out that this place rocked.
Yeah, that's right.
10 minutes before.
Scott, for our listeners, Scott is not from Southern California or LA. Scott is from Boston. So learning, yeah, that's right. Learning what to do in an earthquake is an important thing if you're not from here. But
the stop, drop, and roll, is that right?
No, I don't think that's right. I don't think you want to be dropping, rolling, rocking, with all that stuff. When I was a little kid, I remember the first big earthquake I went through. My mother said, "Well, just sit in the doorway," and that's what we did. So, okay. Ever since then, actually now I just sleep through most of the earthquakes. If they're at night, I don't even wake up.
It's funny. I actually remember my first earthquake. I was watching Beverly Hills 90210, and I never watched the show. The show wasn't very memorable, but that was my first earthquake, so I remember that because it was like, holy smoke, this is an earthquake.
Yeah.
And it was just a little one, but I thought that was the beginning of the big one because I'd never been through one before.
Wow. Well, listen, what we like to do when we start our show every week is we like to introduce our team and then our special guests. So our team tonight is, I've got the number one sound engineer in the country in there. That's Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
Everything is great. Happy to be here. Happy to see you. How was that earthquake? Were you in the building were you in studio when the earthquake came?
I was sitting right here at the desk, and I got to tell you, it freaked me out a little bit.
You're not from Southern California either, are you?
No, I'm not.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania, the East Coast.
Okay. Well, hey, yeah. I enjoyed the earthquake. I thought it was great.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like
ride. It's
kind of like being on a boat, but you're on land, right? That's how I see it, right?
You got to be in the right place to enjoy it. It would be hard to enjoy under a chandelier, for example, or maybe at the top floor of a building, or even in a large building. How many stories is this place? 11 or 13?
It's 10 floors. We're on the 8th.
Yeah, and it's an old building, so
we'll mostly fall on people.
Well, see, here's the thing, Scott. This is what I always tell.
Better to fall on people than to have people fall on you.
Okay, but
that's what I always say.
Scott, but here's the deal. What you don't understand, just logic, common sense. This building's an old building.
Yeah,
it's survived a lot of earthquakes. It's seen a lot more earthquakes than the one we saw tonight. It's still standing. This is not a new building. This is an old building.
You're right.
So just don't even think about it. If there's another one coming, let's just do our show.
But when we get outside, those rats are all going to be freaking out,
Yeah, well,
they're gonna take charge of the neighborhood.
We are live. Speaking of rats, in Skidrow Studios, and we are Skidrow adjacent, and we've got some great rats downstairs in the parking lot next door and on the street. We see them every time we come in and out of the building, Scott.
Yep, they greet us. They open the doors.
Yeah, there's some big rats.
They have the elevator code.
There's some big rats here. Anyway, listen. To my left, I've already been talking to you, is my special guest co-host, Scott Schultz. And Scott, thank you for joining us again tonight.
Yep, always a pleasure to be here.
And we've got a special guest across the way from me. And let me see if I can get a drum roll, please. Wait a second here. I'm looking for my sound effects, and I don't have my drum roll. Okay, pull up my drum roll. There it is. Wait, I've got it in here somewhere. I'm looking in here. I've got some help from my sound engineer, and Scott's doing it in the meantime.
Dude, I'm gonna get cramps if you don't.
Hey, I've got some. I see some applause on here, but okay. Well, look. Here's the thing. We've got. That's the. Hey, don't applaud. I haven't even introduced Coach Cheney yet. What are you doing applauding? Let's introduce him first. Come on. So I've got Coach Cheney here, and he is a great coach. He is at Rancho Dominguez Prep, and that is an LA Unified. I know it's a little tricky. You guys are going to think people are listening. Rancho Dominguez Prep, I've never heard of that school. It's because they're new. This is the second year that they have been in existence, as far as I know, and Coach will address that with us in a minute. But they are kind of, it says that they are in Long Beach, even though they're an LA Unified School district, which I know is a little bit confusing. But Coach Cheney, they call him Spoon, by the way. Coach Cheney, or Spoon Cheney, he has started this program 2 years ago. He came over from Long Beach Poly, where he was in the program there as an assistant coach. And in his second year this year at Rancho Dominguez, they had a great year. I personally saw them play in the city championship game, and they lost a close game. They lost kind of a heartbreaking game. They lost to Lasis. Low-scoring game, Coach. Were you surprised, Coach, that the score for both teams, neither team scored 50. Were you surprised at the score? Let's just start with that, because your team scores a lot of points.
Yeah. I kind of figured it was going to be a low-scoring game, just through my experience of championship basketball. I was more focused on trying to get high percentage shots in the paint, trying to get at least 50% plus in the paint because of the backdrop. You know, some of my kids, this is their first time. This is kind of like, we're kind of like the redemption team. You know, I got kids, this might have been their second transfer, their third transfer, to a new school. You trying to, make a name for yourself and start all over, leave everything in the past.
Right.
And, it's kind of big. I probably had two kids that probably experienced that situation before.
Okay. Well, you had a really good team and a successful year. You won over 20 games. I think you were 23-8. Does that sound right?
Yes.
23-8. Scott, great season.
That's a great year.
Second year of the program, and I wanted to make sure we recognize that and point that out, that this isn't like, you come in and you already have a team. This is a new school and a new team. It's a new school, right, Coach?
Yeah, third year of the school, second year of the basketball program.
Okay. And what made you want to go to this unknown new school, never had a team before, Rancho Dominguez Prep? What made you want to take that challenge on?
One, I got to give a shout out to the L.A. Jordan coach. He the one recommended me for the job.
Van Meyer?
Van Meyer. We go way back from Watts Magicians, Joe Clark and Joe Wheatley.
Okay.
We played on the great Watts Magicians AAU teams back in the day. And the AD reached out to me, and it was kind of surprising because I kind of turned the job down 3 times. I never told nobody that, but I turned the job down because I was kind of a little frustrated because I wanted to coach at Servite. I was going to that situation over there, and it didn't work out. So talking to some friends, and my buddy Atope, he told me, he said, you got to take this job.
Okay. So you took the job, you go in there, and, you had a great year, like I said, 23-8. Let's talk about last year for a minute. How did last year go?
Last year, I remember coming in, I kind of looked around, and my assistant coach was like, man, how we gonna do this? I said, we're gonna win league, and we're gonna grind, because I feel like this. Everybody looks for transfers, but who really gets in the gym and develop?
Right.
And I feel like this. I will outwork you. I will get in the gym. I'll be in there countless hours. I'm a gym rat.
Okay.
So, I mean, if this kid needs to work on dribbling, we're going to work on dribbling, shooting.
Okay.
We're going to work on the system. I feel if kids can learn the system early and get developed, which is a lost art of developing kids, because everybody's looking for the super transfer to come in and change it around. Me and my staff, we just get in the gym. I'm not a big talker of who I got, this and that. I'm going to know if you get in the gym. I'm kind of old school.
Okay, so old school, and you probably learned some of that from Joe Weekly, who I used to coach against years ago, and I know Joe, rest in peace, he was old school. Yeah. So you got some of that from him, and it sounds like, and but you go in your first year, and you had a really good year last year too. You were 15-5, right? Yeah,
we went. Our turnaround mark was the San Pedro tournament.
Okay.
We stepped in. It's kind of rough in the beginning because a couple of kids transferred in, and, the little rule, they had to wait 30 days or whatnot. And that San Pedro tournament was our turnaround. We beat Mary Star.
Okay.
Then we turned around and beat a good team in New Millennium, which we later on seen in the playoffs that year.
Okay.
And we got to the semifinals. And
That's right.
I knew right there, and these kids bought in. And once I knew that, we went through league, like we were 20-0 in 2 years in league.
That's great.
Wow.
That's great. So this year was obviously much better than last year. I mean, you won almost twice as many games. You played more games.
Yes.
You played a bigger schedule. I mean, I was looking at your schedule this year, who you played, and you really played some good teams. I mean, you're not ducking anybody. You played Cathedral this year, right?
Yes.
And you played, let me find that game. You played St. Anthony's out of Long Beach. That's another really, known team. And you played, let me see here. Well, of course, you played Laces in the finals. Valley Academy, who had a pretty good team this year. They only had lost like 3 or 4 games, and you beat them. You smacked them by about 14, 15 points.
Oh, yeah, that's a old rivalry right there with the coach.
Oh, is it? Tell me about it.
Well, he's a pump guy. Oh. I came in the game with Dino and A-Tope, so we've been battling for years.
Okay.
So that was just like him having James Harden all over again, and I got DeMar, and we're just going at it. He's a good coach. A lot of respect to that coach. He's a hard-working coach. He's one of the guys that didn't have transfers, but his kids played hard. They bought in. And, I got respect for coaches like that. I like playing against coaches. That brings out the competitive side in me.
Okay, gotcha. Now, you also played some other really good teams here. San Pedro, you beat them at San Pedro. Scott, it's Pedro, right?
Pedro.
San Pedro, not Pedro. It's Pedro. Pedro. Okay, so Coach Spoon took his team, Rancho Dominguez Prep. They played at San Pedro, and they beat them. That must have been a good game.
Oh, yeah. I wanted that game so bad, me and my kids, because last year we played them, and we felt we didn't get a fair shake because, it was the home crowd. It was a good team, but I was looking forward to that game.
Okay.
I was looking, because I took it like you host a tournament, you think you got a couple of cakewalk games, and I was like, no, not this one. I want this one.
Okay.
We was looking forward to that game.
Nice. And then you also played Narbonne.
Yes.
And they were in the City 1A semifinals, Scott, and we had Narbonne on the show.
Yep.
And
we had San Pedro on the show.
Yeah, we've had San Pedro on the show too, but that's how I learned that it was San Pedro.
That's correct.
Pedro. Not Pedro.
Pedro, like with a line on top of the E.
Right. And you learned that night too, San Pedro, right?
I've always known it.
Oh, you've always known it. Well, that's a good thing. You're from Boston if you know that. And, Coach, you also played View Park this year. Another really good team, right?
Yes.
So you guys really played a very, very strong schedule.
Yeah.
I thought being the fact you lost in the city championship game, I thought that you might get invited to the state playoffs.
I thought we was too. But going back to that San Pedro game, I just got to make this note.
Okay, let's hear it.
We wanted to let everybody know because they've been fighting for us to get not to get in the Marine League, which would be smart for us. But next year we're going to the Exposition League. But I just want to let everybody know that Rancho Dominguez can play in the Marine League with anybody.
Okay. And that's the league that San Pedro is in with Narbonne.
Okay, it's San Pedro and
San
Narbonne.
Pedro, Banning, Carson, Washington, King Drew.
Okay.
And so you're going to be in the Exposition League instead?
Yes, with Jefferson, Santee, West Adams, Los Angeles High, and Hawkins.
Okay. Well, that's a step up, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the Exposition League's a step up for you right now, Coach, from where you've been at right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the next step, and then let's see how that goes for 2 years, and then let's talk about, maybe the next
I really
step.
wanted the Coliseum League. I'm like this, Mike. I'm like, I don't run for nothing. And I'm like this. I want to play the best of the best. I want to be one of the programs that brings city basketball back to prominence, like Westchester, Fairfax, El Camino, Palisades, all these good teams we got, because I feel our section doesn't get enough respect.
That's right. And that's a great point. The city section does not get enough respect. And that's one reason, Scott, why our show is sponsoring the Los Angeles Classic, which will be April 5th, a week from tomorrow at East Los Angeles College. And it's only for city section coaches and players. And it's a special event to recognize and promote LA City section student athletes and coaches and what they do. We're going to have a great event, Scott. It's going to be at East LA College. It's going to be a tremendous thing. There's going to be a banquet. There's going to be an award ceremony and recognize all the student athletes individually for being selected.
Is there a website or something where people can get the information about this?
No, they can get the information right here on our show, and they can go and get a ticket April 5th. It's a week from tomorrow at East LA College. The first game is at 3 o'clock. It's going to be the South Region team against the Valley team, followed at 4:30 by the East Side versus the West Side. Then there's a little break, and then there's the top 24 underclassmen game, and there's no admission charge for that game. The top 24 underclassmen game, wow, that's going to be great. In fact, Coach, you've got a player that was, I believe, selected for that top 24 underclassmen game. Isn't that right?
Yes. His name is Keith Fisher III. He's one of the top 24 kids in the state of California.
Nice.
He plays for the Compton Magic. Jared Bayless team.
Okay. Yeah. So Keith Fisher III, he's a big guy, right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Sir. He's 6'7", sophomore, still growing.
Okay.
Just found out his growth plate is still open.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Man, I love this kid, man. I mean, I want to do everything I can for this kid. This kid is just an epitome of a hard worker.
Okay.
I mean, lunchtime in the library or he's in the gym, either or.
Okay.
He's a lunch pail kid, throwback.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, I saw you guys play, and you've got a lot of guys like that, and he's one of them. I agree. And it's exciting probably for him that he's going to be, playing against the top in that top 24 game.
Yep.
You're going to have players from Fairfax and Westchester, and this is a great opportunity for Rancho Dominguez to kind of, put themselves more on the map with those more established.
See how they measure up.
Yeah, and see when Keith comes in and maybe can dominate that game, they'll get a lot of attention.
Yeah, or even if he just plays within the flow of, the game with the other players that are at that level.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, that big center you played against that night in the championship game, Evan Beatty.
Yeah, Evan played for me in the 7th grade.
Okay, yeah.
That was so crazy about it because Evan wasn't even that big then.
Yeah. Well, he's big now.
He's big now.
Yeah, but he's in the top 24 underclass game too. So it's going to be a great event, and we'll hear a little bit more about it later on our show. Hey, let's do this. Let's take a short break. We've gone a little too long. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have some more Rancho Dominguez basketball with Coach Cheney. Hey, it's Coach Miller, and I want to tell you about Maya Sportswear. Maya Sportswear is located at 1400 South Main Street in Los Angeles. That's down in the Garment District. Maya Sportswear has the best deals on rhinestone, embroidery, and silk screening. They specialize in uniforms, T-shirts, and shorts. Go to Maya Sportswear, tell them Coach Miller sent you, and you'll get a special deal. Their phone number is 213-742-0742, and they are located at 1400 South Main Street in the Garment District in downtown Los Angeles. Maya Sportswear for the best deals in silk screening, custom-made uniforms, hats, embroidery, rhinestone, sweatshirts. Go and see them. Tell them Coach Miller sent you, and you'll get a special discount. This is Coach Miller, and our show, Time Out with Coach Miller, is proud to be the sponsor of the Los Angeles Classic. The Los Angeles Classic is an all-star basketball event recognizing and honoring LA City's finest basketball players and coaches. It's held April 5th. That's right, April 5th. It's coming up at East Los Angeles College in the men's gym. Okay, there's a great event that day, April 5th. That's right, April 5th is the Los Angeles Classic all-star basketball event. There's a brunch and awards and recognition banquet, followed by 3 great games. First of all, at 3 o'clock, the Valley squad will play the South Region squad. Right after that, at 4:30, the West Side team plays the East Side team. Later that evening, with no admission charge, that's right, no admission charge, is the top 24 underclassmen game. The 24 top underclassmen in the city of LA. Hey, special thanks to all of you who are planning to attend and support this great event. This is for LA City's finest basketball players and coaches. We welcome you April 5th at East LA College. First game, 3 p.m. Thank you for listening and hope to see you there.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all to be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Hey, we're back. We're live. We are on the air. And welcome back to Time Out with Coach Miller. Hey, we are at Skidrow Studios. We're proud of that, Scott. And
solid foundation.
That's right. Old building here. We're on the 8th floor. We're up high. Our studio has not fallen down, and this building's been here a long time. You guys have nothing to worry about.
Nothing above us but a disco ball.
That's right. Okay, well, listen, here's the thing. Those rats downstairs are mighty pissed off, I heard. They survived that earthquake. Our rats here, though, Scott, have class. They have bling.
Yep, they're probably taking your car for a joyride right now.
Well, you know,
they're going to the pantry.
we're more jewelry district adjacent than we are Skid Row adjacent, aren't we?
Yep. So they might be looking for an Escalade first.
Okay.
They might have a higher standard of motor car.
Yeah, I'm just in a Ford, so they probably leave me alone.
Yeah, maybe they'll let the kids drive that.
Okay. Well, we've got Coach Cheney here from Rancho Dominguez Prep, and he's done a great job. They almost won the city championship this year. I saw the game. You know, what do you think the turning point of that game was, Coach? It looked like to me that, you know, it could have been anybody's game. I mean, there was neither team really separated a lot, I didn't think. I mean, what do you think was the turning point? I mean, now that you look back on it.
Defense assignments. We missed a couple of defense assignments. We didn't come down. We didn't establish our bigs like we normally do. And I think the game got big for a couple of guards. And then once it came back down, I let them know. I said, look, man, you guys are making this game way bigger than what it is. Just play the brand of basketball you've been playing all season. And I think once we woke up, we started playing, and we were switching. The coach staff, we were switching a lot of defense, mixing it up with half-court traps, matchup zones, and then that one play, I think we was on a 9-0 run.
Yeah.
And William caught the lob, and the ref called hanging on the rim, and I could not believe it. And that just changed the whole game. That was a 5-point swing right there, Coach.
Yeah, and that was a big tee, and didn't really hang on the rim. Kind of grabbed it, but he didn't really swing on it.
If you look on the film, number 10 runs right under his legs, and then here comes number 3. By the time he calls the tech, he's at half court, and it's just like. And in that moment, in that type of game, you don't make that call. You let the kids play it out. Regardless if my kids win or not, they just took away the first Division IV's good ending to the first Division IV city championship. I think that would have been a classic for either team. Yeah. I mean, take nothing away from Laces. They're a well-coached team. They stayed to their game plan. They knew who they was.
Right.
And they handled their business.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Coach. They are a well-coached team, and so is your team. And it was just, I was a little disappointed because I thought your team was better. I think if you played them 10 times, you'd win 7 or 8 times. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
And see, the thing is, Scott, and you've seen it with my teams and my program for years, is in high school or college basketball, it's one game.
Yep.
And, my teams have won multiple state championships, but my teams probably could have won another 6 or 7 state titles if it was a best of 5 or a best of 3.
Yes. Sure. Yes.
Okay. And if it was a best of 3 or best of 5, I think you might have won that series.
Yeah. And another thing too, my guard Brian Simmons Jr. is one of my like the second leading scorer, and he just started having growing pains.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he had both his knees were shot with osteoarthritis. I mean, I give the kid, a hand. He gutted it out. He tried to play. I think that was a big drop off too, because his knees been inflaming like through the whole playoff, and we really needed this outside scoring. I mean, he really, his penetration to open up and his shooting from outside really opens up the lanes and the passing lanes for the bigs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's important. You have to have an inside-outside attack, and but I was impressed with what I saw, and in particular because you're a second-year program, and I think the best is ahead of you. I really do, and especially with someone like Keith Fisher III, who's going to be in this top 24 underclassmen game week from tomorrow over at East LA College. I'll tell you what, he's an exciting player. He has a chance to go to a high Division I. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Just yesterday, I was getting the mail out in the office in Notre Dame, Stanford, Arizona.
Wow.
I mean, but he's like, Coach, this is cool, but I'm not worried about this right now. I got to get better.
Right.
Like, he's still pissed at the championship game. Like, we'll watch film and he'll want to go in the gym and work on this footwork or, right now he's just in grind mode.
So what's he working on this summer?
We're working on ball handling, really extending his game to the perimeter. As you see, today's college games, bigs have to be very versatile.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Well, before I go too much further, and we're gonna go further and deeper with Coach Chaney here, Spoon Chaney, an old school guy, and had some good mentors, and we're going to talk a little bit about his background here in a few minutes, but. Before we do, I want to give, before it gets too late in our show, I want to give a special shout out to Patrick Gonzalez from our program at LA Prep. Patrick got his SAT score in, Scott.
Yep. How'd he do?
And guess what? He is now a qualifier. He
nice.
just made it. So I want to give a special shout out to Patrick Gonzalez and to his mother.
Good job, Pat.
That's right. Thank you, Coach, to his mother, Daisy, and his father, Joel. Patrick got that SAT back, Scott, and he bumped it up enough to make the grade, so to speak,
That's
literally
great.
and figuratively.
Yep.
So we're really proud of Patrick, and we're happy, and we'll see what these next 2 months hold. Coach, you know how it is. April and May is when coaches come out, right?
Oh, yeah, I've been getting a lot of calls. They come out, they want to see a kid. First thing they're going to ask for is transcripts. So kids, you listening out there, take care of your business in the classroom.
Yeah, boy, isn't that the truth? How many guys did you grow up with? And I know a lot, you played some ball, and you were a good player. And guys that you grew up with, Coach, that were great players but couldn't go anywhere because of grades. How many guys like that?
Oh, man, countless.
Yeah.
Because of grades, teenage pregnancy,
Right.
gang violence. I mean, I done seen it all. I
Yeah.
mean, got to take care of your schoolwork.
Yeah, it's really a key. Let me see here. Looks like we've got a call, and I haven't even given out our number, Scott. Give out our number for our other listeners.
The number here is 1-800-893-9562. And also you can find Time Out with Coach Miller on YouTube, on Skidrow Studios channel. Also, you can find us at skidrowstudios.com. And also you can find us on iTunes. Type in Time Out with Coach Miller. Subscribe to it. It's totally free. You can check out the entire season's worth of timeouts with Coach Miller.
That's cool. Well, we are on iTunes. We're proud of that. So, like, for example, today's show with Coach Cheney, you'll be able to go on iTunes and download this show in a couple of days and hear Coach Cheney talk about Rancho Dominguez, hear him talk about William Brooks III, right? Hear him talk about, all the things we're talking about. You can go on iTunes and you can pull this down, and that's really cool. We're kind of like a rap music show in that way, right?
Well, we got a rap song. We have the Time Out with Coach Miller theme by Lil Kev.
That's right. We have Lil Kev doing our rap, our theme song, Time Out by Coach Miller.
You like Rick Rubin back in the day when he discovered Run DMC.
Okay. I got you. I like that. Coach
Except
Kevin.
he doesn't know how to pronounce Lil.
Lil Kevin does our special theme song, Time Out with Coach Miller.
He replaces all the letters that Kev took all the time to remove.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, maybe we don't have a call. I thought we had a call. It lit up red on my board, but I don't see a red board. So our phone number, if you have a question for us or for Coach Cheney, 1-800-893-9562, 1-800-893-9562. Give us a call, and we'll see what you're talking about. Now, obviously, Coach, this is a big day in terms of basketball in the Division I arena. We have NCAA basketball going on. Yesterday, Scott, we had some great games. Your Bruins lost yesterday, I understand.
Yeah. Well, they had a good season. Good run for first year coach.
Well, yeah, Steve Alford did a good job.
Yeah.
And I was really pleased with what he did. But they lost to Florida, who I predicted will win the national title.
Yeah, Coach, I got to give a shout out to my boy David Grace over there at UCLA. Did a hell of a job over there recruiting him and Titus. And shout out to Titus. He's from Long Beach. So I got to give him a shout out.
That's right. Tyus Edney from Long Beach. I understand.
Coast to coast.
I understand a little. I'm going to let this slip out on the air because, we always break news on our show. I understand Tyus Edney is in the mix for a junior college job. I understand he might get the Cypress College job, and that he's in the mix for that. That's what I've heard, which is really interesting. Tyus Edney was brought in, Coach Cheney, under Ben Hallen, the previous coach.
Yes.
And Steve Alford kept him on, and as he should have. And David Grace is a great assistant coach. I agree with you. Great man, strong values, former Air Force guy, I believe retired from the Air Force. Isn't that right, Coach Cheney?
And he a Baltimore kid. I got to throw that in. He'll get mad. He don't say that.
Okay, he'll get mad. Okay. So,
but no, great guy.
Great guy. And I've talked to him at some games and stuff this year. Him and Coach Alford. So, Scott, back to what I was saying. You derailed the whole news story. All I said was, didn't UCLA lose to Florida yesterday in the game to go to the Final Eight? And then you had to tell me all this other stuff about okay, yeah, they did have a great season.
Yeah.
Okay, did they lose?
Hey, only one team wins it all.
Okay. And Coach Miller predicted Florida would win it all, and I'm still good. I'm still good with that right now.
Florida bigs are rough.
We could have beat
They
Florida.
are rough.
I can handle losing to any team other than Florida. I'm just tired of losing to Florida in the tournament.
That's like 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
And it's always deep.
Yeah, always
You know?
deep. Well, yesterday there were some great games, and today there were some great games. Exciting basketball. Now we are down to a Final 8, right, Coach?
yes.
The elite.
The Elite 8, they call it. Now, Michigan beat Tennessee tonight in a close one, right? 73-71. Mm-hmm. Who won the UConn-Iowa State game?
UConn.
UConn. Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin Ali,
That's right.
another city guy.
An LA
Doing
guy.
it big.
An LA guy from
Yes,
Crenshaw
sir.
High School. I saw
Crenshaw District.
Kevin Ali play in high school, and what a player he was. So, head coach at UConn, congratulations, Kevin. And also congratulations to Carl Hobbs, his fine assistant coach, who's an old friend of mine. Okay, so UConn is officially in the Final 8. Kentucky beat Louisville, you said, Scott.
Yeah, that was a disappointment.
Oh,
Yeah, Patino's my favorite.
I love Patino.
Yeah.
I love him.
Well, the thing is, that was a pretty big game for being that early in the tournament. I mean, you could really look at Louisville and Kentucky could have played for the national title.
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Easily.
And so that's an early game, a lot of implications. And Michigan State squeaked one out over Virginia 61-59.
And that was tight the entire game.
Oh, that was a great game.
That was 1 point at the half.
Oh, wow.
That was a great game. That's why I was a little late.
Okay, a little bit late looking at that. Okay, so we've got some big basketball tomorrow then, and Sunday as well. By the end of Sunday, we'll have a Final 4, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we've got an Elite 8, and we'll see where it goes from here. Now, let me ask you this: going back to your situation at Rancho Dominguez Prep, you're going into year 3. What are your goals for year 3?
My goals for year 3 are to have my kids, see what I can do to make my kids buy in more, to be better in the situation we was last year in that championship game, to have them ready for moments like that. I'm still working on being a better communicator. I think every year as coaches, we come from a different time zone. Like
Sure.
my kids say, Coach, are you from a different time zone? But, just trying to relate, communicate, simplify things, keep things simple, stay teaching, and just try to get the kids better and try to build better kids. Like, I don't preach pro. I preach getting a free education.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to build my program to be the Long Beach Poly of the city section.
Yeah, that's a great goal too. That's a great goal. Hey, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more NCAA basketball with Coach Chaney and with Scott Schultz. Let's go to break, Jeremy, and roll those commercials. Hey, this is Coach Miller. I'm excited to welcome All-American Trophy and Engraving Company as a sponsor to our show. All-American Trophy is located in Montebello, California. They have been in business since 1958. Current owner Mike Baumer and Paul Purdom have over 70 years experience in the awards industry. They can be reached at area code 323-725-1962 or go to their website, www.aatrophyco.com. Please tell them that Coach Miller sent you.
Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships, we winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling, cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Hey, it's Coach Miller. You're listening to my show, Time Out with Coach Miller. I want to talk to you today about my favorite car dealership located in beautiful Hollywood, California. It's called Gem Motors. Gem Motors is located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard. If you want a high-end automobile that's at a great price, whether it's a BMW, a Mercedes, a Jaguar, or a Porsche, go to my friends at Gem Motors. They have a beautiful indoor dealership located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard, right across from Home Depot. Go see my friends at Gem Motors. Tell them Coach Miller sent you and get a special discount. The phone number is area code 323-962-9696. 323-962-9696.
Welcome to the 500 Club. We the best, my whole team tough. Close to 100 Division Ones I built up. Dedication and hard work. Step up to the court, I'm like, who ready to lose first? 14 times champs every year earned. Feet to the court, let me get in my zone. Hands grip to the ball, let me get in control. Non-stop, can't quit, that's a winner's quote. I'ma just keep doing me, hear the crowd as they cheer. 18 out of 19, coach of the year. Time out with Coach Miller, listen clear. 2 times a week, listen to me on the ear. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career.
Hey, we're back. We are live, Scott. We are in studio, and we are still here. The building hasn't fallen down yet, even though we had that big earthquake.
Yep, built to last.
Hey, how big was that earthquake? Does anyone know?
That was a 5.1.
Hey, 5.1. Is that a big one, you think?
It's a moderate.
Moderate. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's going to be an earthquake tomorrow that we're going to see when we watch these games unfold in the NCAA tournament. What if Dayton pulls it out, Coach Spoon, and they beat Florida? Is it even possible? Can Dayton beat Florida, a number 11 seed?
I would love it.
Anything's possible. You got to play the game.
You know,
And I got to go with Archie, my guy. So I'm going for Dayton.
Okay.
They beat Duke. So, I mean, they can beat a good team.
Okay. I picked Florida to win the national title. I'm going to stick with Florida. I think that Billy Donovan's experience, he's won 2 national titles.
Yep.
He's been in, the final 8, 2-3 years in a row now.
Protege of
Patino.
Yep.
Your guy.
Yep.
And Scott, who are your 2 favorite coaches in America?
Well, my 3 favorite coaches would be Wooden, because you always got to put Wooden in there, even though he's no longer with us, Patino, and the man to my right.
All right. All right. Coach Miller is in that. I made as LeBron says, the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you made Rushmore.
I made the Mount Rushmore of Scott Schultz all-time coaches. Hey.
And there's even room for one more.
And that means a lot because you were the sports editor of the UCLA Daily Bruin, the most successful and most well-known newspaper in the country on a college campus.
Yeah, that was a great sports paper. In fact, one of my former assistant editors right now is up covering Michigan State. So he's still in the tournament. And another one of the assistant editors on the staff that year was Dylan Hernandez, who's the beat writer for the Dodgers for the LA Times.
Nice. Well, the Daily Bruin is not just a great sports paper; it's a great paper.
Yeah, a lot of people have really moved on. You know, especially from my year. Like, there's probably 4 people at the LA Times, people at ABC News.
Right.
A lot of really cool people. I stayed in contact. Love being there.
Yeah, cool. Well, I loved you being there. I was so proud of you when you transferred from our program at LACC and went to UCLA and became the sports editor. And thank you for putting me on your coach's Mount Rushmore.
Yep. You should have put like a newspaper, maybe like the one where I was doing the karate kick in one of those frames and put it with all the jerseys in the gym.
Nice, nice. What we used to do, Coach Cheney, at LACC in the gym is we had it said Coach Miller's Division I Wall of Fame. And we'd have...
Oh, I remember that Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Anthony Thomas is my cousin, so he played for you.
Okay. And we had
Chris Mims.
We had all the Division I jerseys up there individually framed, and I had the players' names put on them. and the years they played, and it'd be New Mexico State, USC, UCLA, Kansas, Oklahoma. We had them all.
Yeah.
And it was just a great time and seeing those jerseys. Hey, our phone number is 1-800-893-9562. And we were just starting to get into these games for tomorrow. Dayton in Florida. So, Coach Cheney, are you going with Dayton? Is that your prediction?
I'm going to go with Dayton.
Me too.
Scott, you going with Dayton?
Yeah, I go with my heart. That's why I don't gamble.
Okay, well, I'm going with Florida. Now, Wisconsin and Arizona. Now, before the tournament started, I picked Wisconsin to go to the Final Four, and I'm not going to change. I have Wisconsin going out of the bracket in the West to the Final Four. I have them beating Arizona tomorrow. Coach Cheney, what do you got?
I got Arizona, but I picked Michigan State to win it all.
Okay, but you got the Wisconsin-Arizona game. You've got Arizona.
I got Arizona. Going to squeak it out.
Okay, Scott?
Coach Cheney and I are kind of thinking very similar. I like Wisconsin, but I go with my heart. Pac-10, Arizona. They're not UCLA, but they're little neighbors to the east.
Okay. Well, this is what I want to say. Go Wisconsin. On Wisconsin. Let's see what happens. Go Badgers. Okay. Now, Sunday's games are a little more interesting, and I'm going to go to Coach Cheney first and get his thoughts on this. So we've got UConn and our guy, Kevin Ali from Crenshaw High School, okay, a former Crenshaw Cougar, an LA City section guy. Coach Kevin Ali and UConn plays Michigan State, and you just said you got Michigan State winning the whole thing, Coach. Is that where you're going?
Yes.
So you got Michigan State trying to beat UConn tomorrow Sunday in Madison Square Garden.
Points in the paint and rebounding.
Okay, Scott.
I got Michigan State winning it all too.
Do you really?
I love Kevin. I love Kevin, but that game right there is too much inside.
Okay.
Rebounding, and they're tough.
I want to say about UConn. UConn, I don't believe won their conference this year.
No.
I mean they've come on strong. They came on strong in the tournament, the postseason. They weren't, I don't think, Coach, a top 10 team at all this year, were they? I mean, they were just kind of a good team, but they don't have a dominant post guys like you're indicating. They have one really, really good guard, right?
Yeah.
And after that, they're just kind of a good team.
Yeah, they're tough. I mean, they're taking on the personality of their coach.
Right.
And if you know Kevin Ali's career, he works for everything he got.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So I think this team is just taking the lunch pail mentality and just going in and working.
Okay. So you've got Michigan State, Scott. You've got Michigan State, and I'm going to agree with both you guys. Michigan State, go Big Ten, and then the final game, and this is the one that is really interesting. This will be the last game on Sunday at 5:00, Coach. Kentucky and Michigan. Now, I'm really interested to know what you're going to say here because this is an interesting game. Kentucky and Michigan. Now, if I had said Louisville and Michigan, I think you both would have said Louisville.
Yeah.
Okay?
Big game.
But I'm not saying Louisville, Michigan, because Kentucky beat Louisville. Now we're talking Kentucky, Michigan. Who do you have, Coach Cheney?
I'm going to go with Kentucky right now. They're on the roll. They're rolling right now. They're buying into what their coach is doing.
Right.
The Harrison twins are they're phenomenal right now. And I think, they got their second win. They went through all the rough patches, all the notoriety.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
I think they're ready.
Scott?
I think Michigan looked great, when I watched them play. And, and I just don't like Kentucky. I don't like Calipari. I feel like if Kentucky wins, they're just going to have to forfeit it in like 2 years anyhow when they find out whatever Calipari's doing since he cheats everywhere he goes and then leaves for the big contract and lets the other program that he abandons, take all the penalties and the suspensions and the loss of scholarships.
But he has nowhere to go from Kentucky except maybe back into the NBA because, there's no job he can leave for in Kentucky that's a better job than Kentucky.
Oh,
so
he'll just make it appear better. I've always wanted to coach at Texas or he'll.
Ooh, he's kind of hard on Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, he'll be like, I've always wanted to create a dynasty at USC.
Wow. Well, if anyone could, it'd be him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he cheats, and he cheats good.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. They lost to Florida in the SEC championship game.
Yes.
Okay. So, like you said, they're kind of on a roll. They really are. I mean, they won 3 or 4 games there in that SEC tournament. Lost to Florida, who we all agree is one of the best teams. Okay.
Yeah.
So now they beat Louisville. Okay. Before that, they beat Wichita State, who was undefeated, and really, I thought it was a really bad seeding job.
Yeah, that's a paper lion.
Okay. I thought that Wichita State kind of got screwed because if you looked at the other number 8 seeds,
they got screwed.
Yeah. Kentucky was one of those teams. I mean, what do they have? 7, 8 McDonald's All-Americans on their team. They underachieved all year, basically, yes. Right? But they have pro players on their team. So, like, your Wichita State, you deserve to have an easier game than Kentucky as your second game of the tournament.
Yes.
I mean, that wasn't really fair to Wichita State.
But they played such a soft schedule. They didn't deserve a number 1 seed.
Well,
I'll take that. I think they do because
they went undefeated.
They went undefeated. That's hard to do. Too, the early kids are pro.
Yeah.
He's a flat out pro.
Here's the thing, Scott. You can't fault them for who they had to play in conference. That's their conference.
Yeah, not the conference.
No, but they played a good schedule non-conference. You can look at it. They played.
A lot of people didn't want to play them either.
Okay. Yeah. They played 4 or 5 teams that were in the top 25 non-conference, and they beat them all. And some of those teams, when they played them, were ranked much higher than when they finished the year. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Someone gets an injury or what have you. And
just early season rankings that are often incorrect.
Okay, but nonetheless, you got to give them credit. They played the best schedule that they could play based on who would play them. They played good teams.
I still wouldn't consider them a number 1 seed.
Okay, I agree with you on that. But what I am going to say, that isn't my point. My point is they got screwed because they were a number 1 seed. And if you look at the other number 8 seeds, they weren't Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky has probably 7 pros on their team. Would you agree with that?
I say 6 for sure.
Okay, 6. Okay. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, what other college basketball team has 6 pros? None. Only Kentucky.
But then what, do you reward Kentucky for underachieving by giving them like a 5 seed?
No, I'm not saying that. But, what I'm saying is any of the other number 8 seeds other than Kentucky even, Wichita State wins that game. I mean, they almost beat Kentucky, Coach. You saw the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought they was going to put it out.
They had that last shot, that last 3 wide open.
Yeah, but the ball should have went to the early. He was on a roll.
Yeah, you're right.
It should have went to him. I like the point guard, but at that point, that kid's on the road. You go to him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But so here we are, Kentucky, Michigan. Now you've got Kentucky, Coach Cheney,
over Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say talent squeeze it out.
Okay, and Scott, you've got Michigan.
I think Michigan looked really good.
Right, but you also have admitted to our national and international listening audience that you do pick with your heart, not with your head. That's why you don't gamble.
Exactly.
You've admitted that. So
when I was sports editor at the Daily Bruin, I actually came in last place
in your pool
in the entire paper's pool. Yeah,
for the NCAA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of all and I was the sports editor.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I tell you what. So now, if we fast forward a little bit, I have to make my pick. You know what? That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Michigan.
Good pick.
And you know why? Because, Coach, I'm gonna go with the better coach. I'm going to go with the better. Now, you're right. Kentucky has better players. I'm going to go with the better coach in this game. Now, would I be surprised if Kentucky wins? No, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. But what's interesting to me, now, I don't know. Coach Cheney may know. He may know this better than me. Who's going to play who after all that happens? Let's just say that Michigan State wins, and let's say Michigan wins. Would they play each other?
I don't know if they're on the same side of the bracket.
That's what I don't know.
I don't know that either.
What would happen? Like, well, what if Florida won and Kentucky won? Would they play each other? I mean, it's just kind of like, how does that? Is that already laid out?
Yes.
Yeah, it is, right? But isn't there something wrong about that being already laid out? Shouldn't it be like when you get to the Final Four, you almost reseed it?
No, I mean, because I still remember games like Villanova against Georgetown, being a,
That was a championship game, though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, when you get down to the Elite Eight, the Final Four, the top teams are going to play each other, and you shouldn't readjust the seedings just because they're in the same conference.
Yeah, but here's my question to you both, okay? What if Michigan and Michigan State both win, and not only are they in the same conference, they're in the same state?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be better if they reseeded it somehow? Like, why would they play in the semifinals? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you don't expect to make if you make the Final Four,
you're saying you don't care.
That's a great season,
right?
I mean, you don't rearrange seedings based on like, the Final Four. If we have this one and this one, it's not going to be as sexy a matchup. I mean, look at Kentucky Louisville in the Elite Eight. I mean, those matchups are going to happen because or UCLA and Florida.
Well, I think we have Coach, we have an answer for me?
It'll be all, if Kentucky and Florida get there, it'll be an all SEC final. Just like if Michigan and Michigan State get there, it'll be an all Big Ten final.
Okay, so go, but the semifinals would be the winner of the Michigan State UConn game would play the winner of, is it Florida Dayton? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the winner of Michigan Kentucky plays the winner of Wisconsin Arizona. Okay, well, that could be then, you could have Michigan playing Wisconsin, which is a conference game in the semifinals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You could have, and like Coach said, if Florida plays Kentucky, it'll be in the championship game.
Yeah.
All SEC. If Michigan plays Michigan State, it also would be in the championship game, right, Coach?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a little more fair. I mean, I'm okay with that.
I mean, you could have three Big Ten teams in the Final Four.
Along with Florida. Or, well, no, according to you guys, Dayton.
Yeah, which would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, if Dayton beats Florida, would that be the biggest upset in the history of the NCAA tournament?
No
way.
There got to be one of them.
It would have to be.
It has to be 11 seed right now, this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
I think it would. I mean, look at who Dayton beat. First, they come in.
Well, the biggest upsets would be in the first round because that's where you're going to have like your 15 beating a 2.
No, they're an 11, like Coach just said.
Yeah, but I mean a 15.
And then the MAC.
I mean, as far as
yeah, but they're still an 11. I mean, that's Scott.
good.
An 11 beating a 1 is no different than a 15 beating a 2 in my book. Okay, Dayton beats Ohio State, right? First game of the tournament.
Yes.
Okay, big win, right?
That'd be a big win.
Then they beat Syracuse, right? I saw that game down to the wire. Okay, then they beat Stanford. Now they kind of got a little lucky with that Stanford matchup. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Okay. But now,
that happens.
Well, you're right.
Technically, Stanford got lucky that they got to play Dayton. They just didn't finish the job.
Okay, good. That's why I've got you here, Scott. You always bring me back down to earth.
I think Johnny Dawkins did good for what he had anyway.
He did a great job.
He did a great job anyway, just to get that team there.
You know what, Coach? He had not made the NCAA tournament in 6 years. He'd been there until this year.
Yeah.
And I think he got, by getting to the Sweet 16, a new contract because he was probably going to get fired. He hadn't been to the tournament since he'd been at Stanford. If he hadn't made the tournament this year, he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
And so instead, he goes to the Sweet 16. He's going to get a new contract. Isn't America great?
America's great. And I think he's starting to get the type of kids he want to get. He got the 2 twins from Vegas. Them guys are exceptional good players.
Okay.
So I think Johnny's he's gonna get it done over at Stanford.
Okay.
I think give him one more year.
Okay.
Give him a year, I think he's gonna be all right.
I think they're going to give him more than a year. I think they're going to give him another 3-4 year deal. And
You know what's going to make life tough for him is that Harvard's such a great team now that they're going to recruit all the they're going to get all the top tier, high scholar, high athlete.
yeah,
players.
Harvard's done a great job. Tommy Amaker, great
man.
coach.
That's-
Great coach.
That's a landing
Great.
spot.
Okay.
And they're both Coach K guys.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Yeah, they are. But let me tell you something. Here's the thing. Stanford should be recruiting the same players Duke recruits, in my opinion.
yes.
In Harvard.
And they should be battling. Harvard's not recruiting against Duke and Stanford, really. Harvard is recruiting and targeting a little different kind of guy.
Yeah.
Scott, they are.
Yeah.
Okay. And Harvard does a great job, and he develops the players, and they improve. And he does a great, great job. And they've won in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. They've won a game.
Look at Wesley Saunders from Windward. Kid's gonna be a pro.
That's right.
Playing under Tommy.
That's right.
I had him on my Say No team this summer.
Okay.
Kid's a beast.
Is he really?
He's a beast.
Okay. Hey, let's talk about going back to your team, coach, and let's talk about your team this year. Now, you've had 2 seniors that were really, really good that were selected to play next week in the LA Classic. And tell us about William and is it Kenyon?
Keon Johnson.
Oh, Keon. My apologies, Keon, if you're listening. So tell us about William and Keon.
William transferred in from Compton Dominguez this year.
Mm-hmm.
I call him my low budget Sam Perkins.
Okay.
He's a lefty.
7 feet tall, is he?
Yeah, 7 feet lefty.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, what people don't know, the kid can dribble. He can shoot. We've been working on that because in college he'll be a spread forward. He only weighs like 205.
Okay.
But he's more like a finesse player. This is his second year playing. His ceiling is very high, very high. He has a basketball pedigree. His dad played at Cal State LA, local legend down in Compton, Kerry Brooks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's a very humble guy, but he really wants it.
Yeah.
As far as, like, the light just came on. And I think he's starting to see what the potential is starting to come out. He's starting to see what he can do. And this year he has become a better student, too.
Yeah.
So, and he's a qualifier.
Qualifier.
Yeah. So that's beautiful.
Is he a legit 7 feet tall, or is he 6'10" or 6'11"?
Now, 6'11" and a half with his shoes on, he's 7 foot.
Okay. Hey, you know what I always say, Scott?
What?
You play with your shoes on. That's how you should be measured. You play with your shoes. You don't play barefoot.
Yeah,
You don't
his
see a lot
wingspan
of-
is like 7'9".
You don't see a lot of giant lefties either.
Yeah.
That's going to be confusing because just seeing a giant guy is going to throw you off, but you're not going to expect lefty.
He's a kid I wish I'd had one more year with. I was like, I wish I had this. But we got a lot done in 1 year.
Yeah, you sure did. He's really a nice player. He has a lot of upside. His best is ahead of him.
Yes.
Now, since he's a qualifier, I would imagine there's a lot of D1 schools that want him because he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
What's the recruiting looking like right now?
As this week it's been picking up. It's been kind of crazy. Been getting a lot of D2s, a lot of national JCs, a couple of prep schools. I'm the type of coach, I don't make the decision for the kid. I'm old school. I'll give you advice. I'll give you what I think, but it's totally up to the family. I mean, this kid works himself to get to this point. I think sky's the limit right now.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. He's got a lot of upside, Scott. He's 7 feet or darn close to it.
Yeah.
And he's a good player. And Coach Chaney, like you said, if he had him for one more year, you'd be looking at USC, UCLA type of guy. A little bit thin. Another year of body development and getting stronger.
Yes.
Is Coach Box there helping you with the weights, Coach?
Oh, yeah.
Is Coach Box there helping you?
Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, see, Coach Box, if he had him, Coach Box for a year, weight and strength guy, he'd be in the Pac-10 for sure. And maybe that's all he needs is another year. We'll see.
I think another year of development, but he's kind of, 1 week is the prep school. 1 week is like this D2 called me. It's kind of like, it's all new to him. So it's like, I tell him, just take your time with the process.
Right.
Just take your time.
That's good advice. That's really good advice. Now, tell us about your other senior who made the South region team for the LA Classic.
Keon Johnson.
Johnson.
A kid that transferred over from Long Beach Poly during junior year. He came in probably right after the San Pedro tournament, Christmas time.
Okay. That was last year he came in.
That was last year he came in. And he set out a couple of games. We the first league game, then I just remember that first game he came in, it was like 24 points. He ended up being league MVP.
Oh, he was league MVP?
Keon carried us to the semifinals last year.
Is that right?
Him and Josh Chapman.
Okay.
Good guard I have at West LA College. Keon was he was our dude.
Okay.
I'm just going to flat out say he was our dude. If he goes, we go. And he got us to the semifinals last year. And he was our leading scorer. He was the league MVP, first team, all city, small schools, and second team, all city, all divisions. So he's definitely, this year I was proud of him because he stepped up as a leader, cut down on his scoring, but he distributed the ball more. As a point guard, as his height, he has to learn to play the position.
Yeah.
And his leadership really helped us get there to where we needed to be as a team, as far as getting your big kids, because we got two exceptional big kids,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like want to have my teams balanced.
How tall is Keon?
Keon's about 6'1".
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And where is he a qualifier?
No, he'll be going to junior college. Right now, it's looking like Fresno City.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So he was one of your team captains too, I see.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you had a good run with these guys, Coach, and what are you thinking about for next year? Do you have enough guys back, or do you think there'll be new guys coming in?
I definitely got some guys already there in place. Brian Simmons Jr., which a kid that transferred over from Sarah. He second leading scorer. He's definitely going to be a kid. His recruitment is UC Irvine, a couple of males from Stanford because he's exceptional student.
Harvard?
I hope so. I mean, I just want to me as a coach, I just want a kid to get a free education and move on. That's what I look at. But he's definitely, hopefully he grows about 4 more inches.
Yeah.
Through his Oscar sliders. But he's definitely going to be a player. Jalen Bass is a player that, if Coach remember number 4, he's another lefty. And then I got a kid, Kyrie Rice, real athletic.
Yeah, I remember Jalen. Yeah, he was a silky smooth guy.
Yeah, we call him Dirty Left. That's
yeah.
Yeah,
I liked him. I agree. He's good.
So we have some pieces that are in place. And I had a freshman point guard, Jace Bass, which is the younger brother of Jalen, which he'll be having a lot of responsibility next year. Denzel Williams. So we got some guys, public school, it's like, if I see you August 13th, that means you on my team.
Okay.
I'm not into chasing kids down. I mean, how can you when you go against all these private schools that say, hey, I'll take you, but I'll give your little brother a scholarship too. What parent's going to turn down a private school education?
Yeah, of course.
Right. Especially, and I've seen that happen before with Coach is exactly right, where they want a guy so much they'll get the whole family in there free.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
And what would you do as a parent, Scott?
It's a great deal for the kids.
You get 2 or 3 other kids a free education because your son is so good in basketball. I mean, and Coach is right. It does happen. If you look around, and that's one reason why why our show supports the LA City section teams, because there are no private schools in the LA City section. They're all the LA Unified School District teams. And I like that, and I'll tell you why. because Coach is right. If you look at the CIF Southern Section, Scott, and you look at the brackets,
Yeah.
okay, basically for the most part, all the teams that are going far are private school teams.
Yes.
Right, Coach?
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the divisions, now there's a couple that don't have any private schools in their group, and it's the bigger public schools, but for the most part, it's the private schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Long Beach Poly. Dominant public school, still won a CIF title.
Right.
Good job. Sheldon Diggs, AJ Diggs. Got to give my cousins a shout out.
That's right.
They did a great job over there holding it down for Sharif Montoya.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? And I talked about the night before the playoff started, Scott, if you remember, I talked about and I blasted the CIF Southern Section for not allowing Long Beach Poly to be in the open, and they took Compton, who finished behind them in the Moore League, and they took Compton and put them in the open, and, of course, Compton didn't do that much in the
coach
open.
didn't even want to be in the open division.
Okay, well, see, that's one of the arguments I made on the air, Scott, was I said some of the coaches don't want to be in the open division. Some of them are just happy just be where they're supposed to be. Instead, they took these teams out of order. Long Beach Poly won the league, and they didn't take them to the open division. They took the team that came in second.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about that. The league is the most telling thing because it's everyone plays everyone in a round-robin format, okay, and it's even. It's over a period of 2 months instead of a period of a week.
Yeah, it's a better sample pool.
I think Redondo Union got screwed, too, because they didn't get a chance to go back and to state playoffs and go defend their title. They got smacked right in the open division again when the other teams got to opt out. And I thought Redondo Union got screwed. Reggie done a great job over there. He should have had a chance to defend his title.
Well, what they did was they put them in the open division of the CIF and of the state, like you said. And again, it goes back to, I don't know if that's always the best thing. When Coach is saying they got screwed, I agree, and I'll tell you why. And I said this on the air, and I think the CIF Southern Section does a terrible job, and I think they're a corrupt organization, and they are strictly in it for the money, okay? And they use and misuse these schools. They expand the playoffs too much. They have too many divisions, and they put all these teams in. Man, I went to see a game. I saw Bell Jeff High School, who had a good team, little private school. They played some team from like Mojave or somewhere. They were like 4-hour bus trip away. Yeah. And Bell Jeff beat them by over 50 points. They had that running time, Coach, when it gets to a certain point. And I was there. I was sitting there watching the game with Bort Escoto from Silmar. And I told Bort, I said, this other team shouldn't even be in the playoffs. This is about the CIF trying to make more money, okay, off of these kids. And they don't give the schools the money. They take the money. Yeah. And so they take the gate. Well, if you just multiply that out by all the different schools and all the different divisions, I mean, come on, man. The CIF is really corrupt. The Southern Section, they're really corrupt. The other ones I think are fine. I mean, the City Section of CIF, they're fine. They do what's right for the kids. They put on a good effort for the kids. And the Southern Section is very corrupt because what they've done is they try to create this open division, like Coach said, this kind of, and create a lot of buzz. But they're forcing teams up into that don't necessarily want to be into that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And you got public schools like Compton and Redondo Union. It didn't make no sense. I mean, okay, Redondo, they went in and they had a good showing. But to go to state, they should have had a chance to defend their title.
Yeah, when you put them in the open division, basically what you're saying is you have to beat Mater Dei at Mater Dei in order to go to win the state.
Yeah. And
who's going to do that? I mean, no one. No one beats Mater Dei at Mater Dei. I mean, you're not going to do that, okay? So, I mean, even Westchester, they had a chance until, well, let's just say
2 phantom calls.
There you go.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I mean, I love Stanley Johnson to death, but 2 phantom calls.
Right.
And that guy know who he is. He used to be a city ref. I'm not going to say no names.
Okay.
You wrong, though.
Yeah. I didn't see the game, but I heard, and I heard just what Coach said is I heard that, I mean, let's just say Mater Dei travels well. They sell a lot of tickets. And again, the CIF Southern Section is so corrupt, they don't care what Mater Dei does. Okay. But if you're some little school in the CIF and something happens, they're going to come and punish you.
Yeah, look how they doing Long Beach Poly. That's prime example. I'm from Long Beach. I mean, that rivalry goes back to the 40s.
That's right.
They've been coming in our neighborhoods, stealing kids, stealing, whoever they can get.
Yeah.
I mean, Long Beach Milliken probably reaps most of it because, that's the good side of East Long Beach, and some kids over there go to Mater Dei just instead of going to Long Beach Milliken, which is a good school.
Yeah.
Long Beach Poly, good school academically. It's just sad. We really need to divide the divisions. It need to be a private school division. It needs to be public school.
Right. I agree with that. But for the LA city section, it's all public schools, Scott. It's all the LA Unified Schools. And that's what Coach Chaney is in with Rancho Dominguez Prep. Now, again, it's really sad. It's kind of like the old joke I remember Jerry Tarkanian told me years ago, is he said, you know what? Kentucky is cheating so much and they're doing so many things. He says the NCAA is so mad, they're going to put Western Kentucky on probation for 6 more years. and I looked at it because I was a young coach and he was a guy who mentored me and his staff mentored me, Tim Gergerich and Mark Workentine, and I didn't understand it until later. I understood it better. But that's kind of like this thing with Mater Dei. It's like Mater Dei can get away with doing whatever they want because they sell so many tickets, Scott.
Yeah.
They bring in so much bread that, that the CIF just, hypocritically doesn't care.
And that's why we didn't make Division 4 that's loaded with none but private schools. So that's why they only took one city school.
Is that right?
Yes.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You got Sierra Canyon, you got Pack Hills, you got Bishop Montgomery, J. Sarah. I mean, you got all these private schools.
Right.
And you only let one city school in. That's not right.
That was Lasis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they should have had, that was the team that beat Coach Chaney in the finals. They should have had.
When the Southern section, you letting semifinalists get in.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's very, very unfair. But the Southern section has more power, it looks like to me, than the city section. It looks like they have a better lobby and they have more resources to do what they want. But
why is that?
Well, maybe it's they have more schools.
Well, more schools in the Southern section, and Southern section makes money. I mean, when you got Long Beach Poly, Mater Dei, most of the private schools in Orange County.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get good draws. You got Mayfair over there. They're playing good basketball.
Yeah, they're going to have more fans, Scott, so they're going to have more money. That's the bottom. You know how that goes. So,
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of like when I was at LA City College and you were with me, you saw it. There were other junior colleges that had a lot more fans. They were more suburban, whether it was Ventura or Cerritos
Santa Barbara.
Riverside. They had, Saddleback. They had a lot more fans.
Modesto.
And we didn't have, we had the best fans. I think we drew more than any other team in LA.
Yeah.
Okay. But, we didn't have the same kind of, booster. We didn't have a booster club.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have that. So
I'm going to tell you, the game when I was young to go see was LA City and Compton College.
Oh, yes.
I don't care what you're doing. You're going to see that game at Compton College because, down in our area, we like, oh, man, we hear so much about LA City.
Yeah.
That gym is standing room only. That's like Long Beach and Cerritos.
Yep.
Standing room only.
Yeah.
I remember them games when LA City came down.
I remember the first time I went to that gym, and that was a packed. That was a packed.
The creator.
Not just packed, but loud.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you guys, that Compton gym, I've coached there many, many times at Compton College as a road team, obviously. Very tough gym to play in. Very tough gym. The fans are right on the court. They can be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird gym. The lighting's a little different, a little
they try
weird.
to give you that whole Compton stigma
Yeah.
type.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know that coming from Long Beach.
Yeah.
They try to punk Long Beach all the time.
Oh, we love it.
And
we love it.
They try to punk LA and Long Beach, but
It doesn't work with City though.
But we had some great battles.
Although I remember one player, Jermaine, he kind of punked out at Compton.
Yeah, he did.
They got to him.
Yeah, they got to him, yeah. But for the most part, I mean, the thing is, when I was at LA City and when Damon Powell was at Compton, we had some great rivalries. And we had more players go D1 than any other school. And you know who number 2 was? Compton.
Yeah.
And then after that, the third was so far behind. It was like they did a survey on it once. It was like we had like 90 guys go D1. Compton was second. They had like about 45.
Yeah.
And then the third team, I don't even remember who it was like 10. Okay. This was over like a 15-year period of time. Yeah. So it was like we were here. Compton was right here. They were a big rival. And then the next one was like, they're not even in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Coach is saying, big-time games. Yeah. We would play Compton, and I remember one game in particular. We had Jerry Tarkanian there, Rick Majerus, Bob Huggins, Gonzaga. I mean, it was packed, and they were mainly head coaches. And both teams, we probably had between both teams probably maybe 15, 16 guys that ended up playing D1. Between both teams. I mean, it was a monster game.
I remember that game. My uncle's there because he played for Tarkanian. So
yeah,
I remember that.
And we beat him. We ended up beating him. We ended up beating them by double figures, but it was a really close game the whole game. But in the end, we kind of pulled away a little bit. Like the last 3 or 4 minutes. You know, we kind of pulled away.
And that was the year they came off a state title.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that. I was at that game.
You're right.
That game was like a grind game. It is somehow you second win. I don't know how you guys did it, but it was like that game was a grind. I remember that because they came off a title.
Yep.
Title. They had a pretty good guard. Actually, he used to work for me at the boys' club.
Kevin,
I remember. Yeah,
Kevin Bradley
with the curly hair.
Kevin Bradley
with he had bounce. That's how I know. Yeah. Dad Bradley and another guy, he's still alive too.
I remember at that first Compton game I went to, Compton matchup, they had a 7'2" center, big guy.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
And Compton,
Terry Sellers.
Compton was running away with the game. The big guy somehow stole the ball and was going in for a dunk. And Greg Berry, really skinny, like half my size, at least width-wise, just took that dude down. Like he double collared him. and at that point, I thought that a fight might break out, like a full-on riot.
Oh, that's a typical LA City.
Yeah, for sure.
That was exciting.
Sure. Yeah, it was exciting. And we had some great rivalries, and, we beat them more than we didn't. But if any team... Probably, we have our record, Scott, from the time I spent at LAC, the 16 years I coached the team there. And Compton probably beat us more than anybody else. We still had a winning record against them, but, it might have been, like we were like 18 wins and 10 losses or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like pretty close, It wasn't like some of these that we were like 36 and wins and 1 loss, or
it was like 2 out of 3 you'd win instead of 7 out 7
Yeah, we have conference
or
teams
12 out of 12
that we beat. We were like 35-2. 37 games or 35, but not Compton. No, Compton.
How did you fare against Coach Anderson at Long Beach City?
Very, very well. Very well. Yeah, we probably lost maybe 3 or 4 times in the 16 years. Probably. I could look it up. I don't know it offhand, but that's a good question.
I remember some good teams from there.
Good teams. They had some good teams.
Oh, yeah.
They could always beat City.
Cerritos is like the Duke of junior college basketball to me. Like, they always, I don't know what it is, they always good.
Yeah.
No matter what.
They have a great area. They can really get kids to live at home, and they have a great area.
Shout out to
nice
Tito.
Campus.
Tito Ortiz. They're doing a great job over there.
Yeah, Tito's a good guy, and I like Tito a lot. He's a really, really good guy. I'm trying to think. Tito's been there under 3 or 4 coaches, I think. He's been there. There were Russ May is the coach right now, and then Gary Kane was the coach. He was under Gary Kane. I think he was maybe under someone else too.
He came with the first. He's been through. This is 3rd coach.
Is that right?
I think so.
You know what? I think you're right.
Tito is Cerritos though. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, he's been. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Hey, Jeremy, we're going to need to take a break and pay some bills. And when we get back, we'll talk a little more NCAA tournament with Scott and Coach Chaney. Run those ads. Pay those bills, Jeremy. Hey, it's Coach Miller, and I want to tell you about Maya Sportswear. Maya Sportswear is located at 1400 South Main Street in Los Angeles. That's down in the Garment District. Maya Sportswear has the best deals on rhinestone, embroidery, and silk screening. They specialize in uniforms, T-shirts, and shorts. Go to Maya Sportswear, tell them Coach Miller sent you, and you'll get a special deal. Their phone number is 213-742-0742. And they are located at 1400 South Main Street in the Garment District in downtown Los Angeles. Maya Sportswear for the best deals in silk screening, custom-made uniforms, hats, embroidery, rhinestone, sweatshirts. Go and see them. Tell them Coach Miller sent you, and you'll get a special discount. This is Coach Miller, and our show, Time Out with Coach Miller, is proud to be the sponsor of the Los Angeles Classic. The Los Angeles Classic is an all-star basketball event recognizing and honoring LA City's finest basketball players and coaches. It's held April 5th. That's right, April 5th. It's coming up at East Los Angeles College in the men's gym. Okay, there's a great event that day, April 5th. That's right, April 5th is the Los Angeles Classic all-star basketball event. There's a brunch and awards and recognition banquet, followed by 3 great games. First of all, at 3 o'clock, the Valley squad will play the South Region squad. Right after that, at 4:30, the West Side team plays the East Side team. Later that evening, with no admission charge, that's right, no admission charge, is the top 24 underclassmen game. The 24 top underclassmen in the city of LA. Hey, special thanks to all of you who are planning to attend and support this great event. This is for LA City's finest basketball players and coaches. We welcome you April 5th at East LA College. First game, 3 p.m. Thank you for listening and hope to see you there. Hey, it's Coach Miller, and I want to tell you about Maya Sportswear. Maya Sportswear is located at 1400 South Main Street in Los Angeles. That's down in the Garment District. Maya Sportswear has the best deals on rhinestone, embroidery, and silk screening. They specialize in uniforms, T-shirts, and shorts. Go to Maya Sportswear, tell them Coach Miller sent you, and you'll get a special deal. Their phone number is 213-742-0742, and they are located at 1400 South Main Street in the Garment District in downtown Los Angeles. Maya Sportswear for the best deals in silk screening, custom-made uniforms, hats, embroidery, rhinestone, sweatshirts. Go and see them. Tell them Coach Miller sent you, and you'll get a special discount.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court, and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all or be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hey, we're back. We're live. We are on the air. Proud to be a member of the Skidrow Studios family.
Standing tall. You need more than a 5.1 to knock Skidrow Studios to the ground.
That's right. Hey, Jeremy, what do we have, about 29 shows now on our station?
Yeah, around there. I think we're around 26.
26? Okay, well, we're proud to be one of those 26.
Yeah, that's great.
And we're going into, our 5th month, 6th month?
Yeah, I guess it's been that long.
Yeah, hard to believe. But, hey, we're having fun, and we're trying to promote high school, prep school, and small college basketball.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how the rap goes.
Yeah. Wait,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't do this stuff, man. I can't do the rap. I can't even. When I do it, it sounds like that, like a record just getting scratched. Anyway,
Record getting scratched is a good sound.
you think?
Rap was built on that.
Okay, I got you. Well, anyway, I'm glad to be here on the air. We've got Coach Spoon Chaney.
Why do they call you Spoon anyhow?
Well, my brother gave me that nickname, and one of my favorite players when I was young.
Was it Spoon James?
Spoon James, UNLV. I used to watch Channel 56 back in the day, KO's DOC, and I used to go to basketball camps, and he was one of my counselors.
Nice.
I don't remember him.
Yes.
I remember him.
Richie Adams, that squad, all the good old UNLV. I'm very familiar with UNLV.
Yeah. So am I. I cut my teeth at UNLV. Hey, speaking of UNLV, Scott, Coach Dave Rice, who we've had as a guest on our show, he interviewed yesterday at University of South Florida, and I understand today they offered him the job.
Big East.
No, they're not. They're not in the Big
USA?
East. Now they've been. No, hold on. They've been in Conference USA.
Yeah.
They've been in the Big East, and they're in neither.
Where are they now?
The American Conference with UConn.
UConn, Louisville, Creighton.
No, Creighton's in the Big East.
Big East, yeah. Wow.
Oh, I forgot about that split.
So he's out of UNLV?
That's so weird.
No, he didn't take the job yet. They offered him the job today. They offered him a 5-year, $1.2 million a year.
Wow.
Which would about double his salary that he's making at UNLV.
Yeah.
And
how does he like humidity?
I don't know.
Going from Vegas.
We text each other today, and I couldn't get him to give me an answer on what he was going to do. What he did say, I asked him how the interview went, how the campus visit went, and he did say it went great.
Now, is this an exclusive? A Timeout with Coach Miller exclusive? Are you breaking this story?
No, I'm giving more depth to the story because he told me that the interview and the visit went great. No, it was a rumor, and then from a rumor, I think CBS picked it up, and I think it's been announced that they offered him the job. That's not a good thing unless he takes the job, because if he turns it down, then it makes the school look bad.
Yeah.
And then they have to, explain, then let's say they hire the next guy, then they have to say, well, he's our third choice. Because do you guys know the national story that broke during this week about that job? Are you guys?
Oh, yeah. I'm very familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know it, Scott?
Yeah, that's they offered it to Manhattan.
Right.
And then there was a discrepancy about his
credentials,
his degree.
Well, yeah, okay. The discrepancy was that he had lied on his resume. That was the discrepancy. Yeah. If you come in up front and say, well, I don't have a degree, there's no problem. They can make a decision, do they want to hire you or not? He had put on his resume that he graduated and had the degree. He had a BA in communications
at the University of Kentucky.
University of Kentucky. So now when you put that down and you don't have a BA, in other words, that's a hard thing to say, like, I forgot I didn't graduate.
Yeah.
Like, you know if you graduated or not.
How did he get the job at Manhattan without them knowing it?
I think just being under the Patino coaching tree.
Right.
I mean, I know coaches to get hired without degrees and go to school while they're coaching.
But wouldn't they at least do a background check if he's got this on his resume?
This is a great question, but a lot of schools don't, and it's what Coach said. It's also more than what you said. I'll elaborate on it. He had been in Division I basketball in a number of different schools as an assistant.
Yes.
So when Manhattan hired him, they assumed everything was okay, and they assumed he had a degree.
Because he was under the coach that was at Manhattan at the time.
Right? They assumed, well, he hadn't agreed. They didn't check. They didn't say, well, send us your transcripts.
So I wonder if, he had that on his bio at previous schools.
He did.
Or even at Manhattan.
No, he did.
When they interviewed Patino said, hey, I thought he graduated.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it was on. That was part of the controversy is Manhattan is actually not taking him back. What they did was they said, well, we're putting him on leave until we investigate what's going on. This guy could go from being in the NCAA tournament, winning the MAC, winning the conference, almost beating Louisville.
Yeah.
Coach of the year in his conference. He could go from that to getting that big job at South Florida, all that money, to having no job, to being unemployed.
Crazy.
Wow.
I think he jumped too early to go to South Florida. I think you probably would have got more money out of Manhattan. I think it was just...
Yeah. How much money do you think he was making in Manhattan? It must have been, at least $300,000-$400,000 a year, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's about private university. He was making about that. He was making about $300,000 a year.
So when you're putting an investment of almost $1 million, figuring that he initially gets signed for like 4 or 5 years, you're not going to do a background check. I mean, you're regardless of what he's done anywhere, you're throwing down $1 million. You're committing, to this one guy, probably the highest paid employee in the school. You're not going to do a background check?
Well, what happened was they offered him the job at South Florida, and before they could approve it, they did the background check. And that's when they came up with no degree and that discrepancy on his resume.
Yeah.
Again, the no degree is a different issue. It's the fact that, hey, you're lying on your resume.
Yeah.
That's their issue. That's their beef. So they say rescind the offer. Now, so Coach Dave Rice, they contacted him and they brought him out and they offered him the job today. That I know for a fact because I text with Dave today. He's been a guest on our show, and he told me it went great, and we discussed it a little bit via text.
Yeah.
So
it's a tough choice. He has a good team coming in next
But
year.
here's the thing, is you said a minute ago that you think the Manhattan guy may have left a little too soon. I agree with you because South Florida is not a good job.
It's not.
And especially in the league they're in. When they were in conference, when I sent a player to South Florida years ago,
Is it Popeye?
that's right, Deion Popeye Green, L.A. High School, Los Angeles High School, they were in Conference USA.
Okay.
In Conference USA, they were competitive. They were a good team.
That was a fun conference, too.
Okay.
Well, if this is a good job, Steph Greenberg would still be there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
If he can stay at Long Beach State, he can stay at South Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So their league is really tough. Now Louisville is leaving, right, Coach?
I think they're leaving.
They're out of Patino and Louisville are joining the ACC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Next year.
Yeah, it seems like they change conferences like every 2 years.
Yeah, but they're going to the ACC.
And that's going to be awesome.
Okay.
That's going to be.
Those are going to be some great games.
Okay. So that they're gone. You got Cincinnati, Connecticut, SMU, Memphis, Houston. Rutgers is leaving to go to the Big Ten. Rutgers and Maryland are both going to the Big Ten next year.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Wow.
Next year.
Rutgers, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a football move.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So Rutgers is gone. University of Central Florida, Temple, and South Florida. It's a weird conference.
Yeah.
Temple is an inner city school,
Yeah. That's
right? In Philly,
Yeah.
right? Like
It almost seems like a bracket buster series.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, Temple's like a kind of a in the hood.
Yeah.
I mean, South Florida is like this, big public school. Central Florida, huge public school in Orlando.
Yep.
Okay. Houston, I mean, this is in Texas now, guys.
Yeah.
SMU, they're in Texas, private school, small private school,
Religious
school. Memphis, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. UConn, big state school, but Memphis is a city school.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of these urban commuter schools
it's like
mixed with
Weird.
It's weird.
public universities.
Yeah. So, and Cincinnati. So, is South Florida a good job? I don't know. I don't think so.
Because SMU and Cincinnati going to dominate that league.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
5 years, $1.2 million per, though. That's hard to say no
Larry
to.
Brown gets it done anywhere he goes.
That's true.
But Larry Brown leaves everywhere he goes.
Yeah, but
And he's also going to be like 73 or something.
I think this is last time. I think he's going to go for one more title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Larry Brown's not going to coach anywhere else other than SMU at this point
I think this is
in his
it.
career.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard that 4 times.
No, he could have been if he wanted to. He could have been probably made a knock at an NBA job. But this is Larry Brown. This is Larry Brown. You're gonna see the good coach. You know, I think he's a great college coach. This is good.
Heck yeah, he's a great everything coach.
He's gonna get a great kid in Cedric Barrefield from Corona Centennial that already committed there.
Okay.
Man, he's working.
Yeah. No, you're right. He is a great coach, and he was a former UCLA coach, Scott. You got to give him some credit.
You got to give him some credit, Scott. You've been going hard on guys.
NIT finalist.
Okay.
Larry Brown.
Yeah, well, won a national championship at Kansas, didn't he?
Yeah, but that was at Kansas.
Okay.
I knew he was gonna say.
Yeah, it's Kansas.
All right, I got you. Okay, well,
And he had Reggie Miller.
Scott's getting Coach Cheney's getting a look at Scott. Where are you coming from? You are hard on people, but that's
I like
okay.
Don Cheney, his uncle. Well, he was a champion Celtic.
Well, big cousin. That's big cousin. Yeah.
Okay, big cousin. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so
I remember him when I was a kid.
So South Florida finished dead last. They were 3-15 in the conference, 12-20 overall. Is that a job you want to go take?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, how many multi-million-dollar offers are you getting handed to you?
Well, none so far. This is only.
That's the job. You probably be there for 2, 3 the max.
But you're paid for 5.
Yeah. Well, can you win at South Florida? I'm not sure if you can win in that league. Coach Dave Rice, who I've interacted with and worked with and advised for over 20 years, he's never been west of the Mississippi, and South Florida is south, right, Coach?
South. I think Dave needs to stay at UNLV.
Yeah. What do you think, Scott?
I don't know. I mean, you really have to.
You're looking at the money, aren't you?
Heck yeah, I'm looking at the money. $1.2 million a year. That comes out to like $5 million.
5 years, it's like $6 million.
$6 million. And I mean, that's a lot of money to walk away from. And you might get one opportunity.
Yeah, you got to look at that region of recruiting, though.
Yeah,
Southeast.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Where do you
have to ask yourself? Can you win anywhere? Like with my storytelling, I asked myself, can I tear it up anywhere?
I think the problem down in South Florida, the coach, whoever coach takes over, got to tap into the Florida system of recruiting them kids out there.
Get good assistants.
Yeah, definitely. Get a David Grace.
Right.
Yeah, definitely got to get a David Grace that gets in the community and get some kids out of that can get trust of the people of the state that, hey, South Florida's for real.
Yeah.
But where do you recruit? I mean, are you trying, if you're at South Florida, should you be recruiting Atlanta? Is that you got to recruit where talent is, right?
Yeah, I'm in Memphis. I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm in Florida.
Florida.
Them be my main 3 states I'll concentrate on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
But if you're going to concentrate on Florida.
And Louisiana.
Okay, I like Louisiana. I like that call.
While still tapping into, your West Coast.
But now here's my question to Coach Cheney is that if you're at South Florida, how are you going to beat Florida, Florida State, Miami, and even Central Florida for kids? I mean, you're not going to get the best Florida kids, are you?
Yeah, but I'm going to get the grimiest.
Okay.
I'm going to get the ones that I feel that got something to prove, that got a chip on their shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ones you got to, kind of like the situation where I'm at right now, getting kids that really want to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, look, you set goals for your teams. Hey, at this point, we're going to beat Florida.
Right.
We're going to go in there. We're going to beat them. You got to set goals for your program. I mean, I would go get tough kids. That's one thing I would do. I would go down in Broward County. I'm all in there.
Okay.
Plus, how secure is he at Las Vegas. I mean, they didn't have a great record this year.
No, this year was
they
tough.
were one and done last year.
Well, they were one and done his first 2 years, and, this is something he and I talk about a lot, and this year he didn't make the tournament or the NIT. The honeymoon's over.
Exactly.
And here's the deal is the AD who's there didn't hire him. The AD that hired him retired. And so the question is, you don't know exactly, next year, if they don't have a great year, could he be in trouble? Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
he lost a kid too, Jones.
Right.
Bryce Jones.
Yeah. So that's the question.
I'd take the money.
So if that's the question and you're saying, okay, the money is double.
That's $6 million that falls in your lap. I would take the money because coaching's that's a cruel business. It's like they'll chop you off and move on.
Yeah.
And nothing flat. And if the guy that brought him in isn't even there, I would take the money.
Yeah. You know what? I think that, Coach, you may know these kids that UNLV signed. They got the commitment from the Findlay Prep McDonald's All-American. We played them this year. He's a great player.
Yeah.
Great player. But he hasn't signed yet because he just committed last month to UNLV. He hadn't signed yet.
Yeah.
Now, early they signed 2 big-time players from back east from Baltimore, one 6'8", one 7 foot, and they were both ranked top 25, top 30 guys. And I'll see if I can pull them up here for a minute. Let me just see if I can pull them up on my Hoop Scoop. We've had Hoop Scoop on as a guest this year. We've had Hoop Scoop, here, and that was a lot of fun to have Clark Francis on.
The encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia of basketball.
Yeah, a lot of fun to have him on. And so I'm going to pull up his site, and if you're listening, what a great site. hoopscooponline.com. That's the name of the site. hoopscooponline.com. And you can go on and you can see rankings that go all the way back. So they've got Hoop Scoop has Stanley Johnson ranked number 1 this year in the class.
Definitely.
Okay. They've got the point guard going to SMU. Speaking of Larry Brown getting it done, Emmanuel Moutier. Yeah, Moutier, number 2. But here's what I want to show you guys about where these guys are at. Dwayne Morgan, 6'7", wing forward, okay, from Baltimore, ranked number 18. He signed early with UNLV. Okay. That's a good get.
Yeah.
That's a good get. Okay. Number 18, and he signed early with UNLV. Number 9 is the Rashad Vaughn from Findlay Prep, who committed to UNLV last month. Okay. Had a press conference, committed. So they've got 2 of the top 20 players in the country.
Why hasn't he signed?
He just committed last month. You can't sign. There's only 2 signing periods. There's the early and the late.
Oh, I see.
The late signing period is upcoming. He will sign with UNLV. Now, if Dave Rice leaves, then, we don't know, right? We don't know. Maybe he won't sign.
He definitely got some pieces coming. It sounds like the old formula of Coach Tarkanian.
But you've got this 6'7". I've seen Dwayne Morgan play. He was at Dino's camp, the Pangos All-American camp in Long Beach.
Yeah, tough kid.
This last summer. Really, really good player. Okay, so they also signed early an African from Baltimore. His name is Good Luck. Good Luck.
That's a great name.
That's a great name.
Yeah, his name is Good Luck, and he's not. Clark Francis doesn't have him ranked in the top 20 players in the class, but he's right up there. He's like a 7-footer, and I'm gonna just see if I can find his name for you. Good Luck, Okan no Bono.
Wow.
Okay, ranked number 21.
Okanobo.
Number 4 center. Okay, here he is. Here he is, Scott, right here. 21st ranked player. Okay, and he is the number 4 ranked center, and he is going to UNLV. He signed early.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to walk away from it, but also when you get those top players, you don't know if they're even going to stay more than a year. So,
Well,
I mean,
But no, the kids he got definitely are 2 to 3 year kids.
you think so?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. And then the other thing is the number 3 player in the class of 15, okay, plays for his brother in Las Vegas at Bishop Gorman, and that is Steven Zimmerman, 7-footer. You've seen him coach.
Oh, yeah. Many times.
He plays. He's the number 3 player in the nation. And, there's a rumor that he might go to UNLV because his brother is the high school coach.
Yeah.
Coach Rice's brother is his high school coach. So,
okay.
yeah, so, I mean,
Got 2 7-footer. Got Jeter over there, too.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
How many years does he have on his contract remaining?
Believe he has
2?
no. Believe he has 3.
3?
But the concern is,
I think for Dave, and people in Nevada want to see if he's going to land Zimmerman. I think that's like a big thing,
right?
and how these guys pan out this year.
And what's the buyout, for his contract?
I don't think he has a buyout. I think if he gets the other job, he leaves, walks away.
Yeah.
But
I'd take the money.
yeah, I'm getting that. So you're just saying the $6 million is too hard to turn down.
$6 million, and I just don't. I mean, he probably knows. Well, obviously, he knows better than I would know. What the climate is with the new AD. But I would imagine new AD and the no tournament. Following 2 one and dones.
Right.
That just doesn't sound. I mean, it's a good class coming in,
But it doesn't sound promising for him.
Yeah.
for the long term, you have to.
I agree with what you're saying, Scott, but I'm going to say it's a great class coming in, not a good class coming in. I think it's a great class. I don't know if.
What if it's a great class and they don't make the Sweet 16?
Well, then there would be a lot of disappointment.
I say pack it up, get
Right.
Stacey Augman, get on down to the Southeast.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think Stacey would go down there. Stacey even only went back to college coaching
Because it was his
because it was his alma mater. Stacey came from the NBA, and he can go back to the NBA. There's a lot of NBA offers. I know that for a fact, to be an assistant in the NBA where he'd make more money and have, possibly a better quality of life. Okay, and
Like he doesn't have one now.
well, yeah, he does, but I mean,
in Vegas where he won a championship.
but he's only at a college level because it's UNLV. He's not going to go to South Florida. That's not going to
I don't
happen.
see that.
So that's not going to happen. But I would say that,
It'd be hard to get me to South Florida.
yeah, where is South Florida? I mean, where
I don't have no
it's
idea.
Tampa.
is it in Tampa?
I believe so.
Is it in Tampa? University of South Florida.
Well, Central Florida's what, in Orlando?
They're in Orlando.
Yeah, that's Orlando.
Of South Florida. I think we sent a player there years ago. You know what? It is in Tampa.
Yeah.
But Tampa's a major city, right? I mean, you've got the Tampa Bay
The
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, the Lightning.
It's not a major city, but it's a very nice city. I love Tampa.
Really?
And Clearwater, Florida. When I lived in
it's
Florida,
nice.
Is it?
It's nice.
Clearwater is the nicest beach in Florida.
Hey, Coach, where is Tampa? Is it near Miami?
No.
No, it's
on the Gulf Coast.
like Gulf Coast, upstate.
It's about 2 hours
In between-
west of Orlando.
Yeah, it's in between Orlando and Miami.
Okay, gotcha. So you think Tampa's a nice city?
I would take the job. Tampa's a beautiful city. I wouldn't even live in Tampa. I'd live in Clearwater.
Only time I've been there
Yeah, but I'm
playing
sure
against Bethune-Cookman University.
Is that right?
Yeah.
When did you go there?
I didn't go there. I played at Clark Atlanta University.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you played Bethune-Cookman.
Yes.
Nice. I had Bethune-Cookman. They offered scholarship to one of our players years ago, Edward Estevan.
Oh, I'm already.
And he turned it down. Went to Cal State Northridge.
Yep.
Didn't want to go that far.
Oh, he was very close with his family, as I recall.
Right.
Like they were always at the games, and I remember his sister played for Oregon State.
That's right. Sister Leilani. Okay.
That's right.
Let's go back to Coach. You brought up something about you played against Bethune-Cookman. Let's go. We got a few minutes left, not a lot of time. Let's talk a little bit about your playing days. Tell us about where did you play in high school?
I played for Tim Sweeney Sr. at Lakewood High School.
Lakewood. Sweeney was a great old school coach.
Yeah.
Did you like Sweeney?
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew about Sweeney because Sweeney is a poly guy.
Right.
He didn't – actually, if Ron Palmer didn't get the job at Poly, Sweeney was going to get the job.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree with you.
So I just known about him because he was the only tough white guy on the 61. Him and Bill Lynn, rest in peace, great, one of the all-time Poly scoring leaders. So I knew about him through my god uncle John Rambo and just neighborhood talk. My great uncle used to always talk about, man, Poly. He knows all the Poly history, so they're never tougher than when they had the little white guy, Sweeney, and he just used to throw the ball up to John Rambo, and he just dunks it in.
I got to say something about Rambo. He was a basketball official. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, later in life. He officiated my games like 25, 30 years ago when I was a high school coach, and a very, very good official, very fair guy.
Yeah.
And how tall was he? 6'6", 6'7"?
John's probably like 6'10".
Oh, was he that tall?
Like 7-footer.
Yeah.
That's a tall ref.
Yeah. No, he was a very, very good official, by the way.
He's definitely a matriarch in our community in Long Beach.
Yeah, no question. So you played at Lakewood, and then what? What did you do after Lakewood?
I went to Bakersfield Junior College.
Okay.
Where I played for Dean Jones over there, played in a great conference against Coach Matthews, which is at Riverside now.
Right.
The Western State League.
Okay.
Then from there, I went to Chaminade University.
Okay. The Silver Swords, right?
Silver Swords, baby.
Okay.
Yes.
How many years were you at Chaminade?
2.
Okay.
Because I got a medical red shirt because I broke my heel.
Oh.
My junior college, so they ended up giving me an extra year.
Okay.
Yeah, I played over there for Coach Lauderdale.
Okay. So you enjoyed Chaminade?
Oh, I loved it.
I mean, what isn't there to enjoy? You're in Hawaii.
Nice weather. I definitely liked the school. I became a better student because the classes were more smaller.
Okay.
And the teachers were real good. And I became a better student at that point. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I've sent a lot of players over to Hawaii over the years, both University of Hawaii and Hawaii Hilo. In fact, one of my former assistants was the head coach at Hawaii Hilo for 15 years. And I sent him 6 or 7 guys, and everybody loves going to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's like a reward.
I'm not surprised Coach Cheney enjoyed his time at Chaminade.
Very good people in Hawaai.
Very good. Very,
good
very,
people.
very easy to get along with.
Yes.
So, and you're easy to get along with.
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. Well, I know your better half is waiting for you out in the green room.
Yeah.
It looks like she's been supporting you and happy to be here with you.
Yeah.
So we want to. Do you want to give her a shout out on the air?
What's up, babe?
Okay. you good? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. So we're excited to have you here. I guess we're going to see you next Saturday over at East LA at the LA Classic, right, Coach?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody need to come out and support these guys in the city section. These guys been working hard all year.
Right.
And definitely they need their due and come on out and support. It's a great event.
Yeah, it is a great event, and it's to highlight the LA City section players and coaches, and it's going to be exciting, and we're going to be excited to see you there. You're going to coach in the top 24 underclass game, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be great. So if you want to come out and support the young men of the LA City section and the coaches, you're going to get to see Coach Cheney coach in that top 24. That's the feature game that night. That is, what time is that, Coach, that top 24 game?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock next Saturday night at East LA College, and you come see Coach Cheney coach in that game, and it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be the top 24 underclassmen in the LA City section. Hey, Scott, it's been a great show. We've had a lot of fun. Next week, we'll be talking about, I guess, the championship round of the NCAAs.
Yep, and the tournament.
That's right.
Because we'll be having the ELAC.
That's right.
That same weekend. So that's going to be a big week.
That's right. We're going to be talking about the LA Classic. So, hey, before we go, a little shout out to one of our great sponsors, Power Moves Only, PMO. I've got a little gift for Coach Cheney from Power Moves Only. We've got our special wristband for you, Coach. And it's got a great affirmation on it, Scott. Got one for you.
Cool.
And what does that say, Scott? Read it to the people.
Make yourself stronger than your excuses.
There you go. And so, Scott, you quit smoking. You haven't smoked for 3 months?
Over 3 months.
Over 3 months.
Stop keeping crack.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You've made yourself stronger than your excuses.
Damn straight.
Okay, so power moves only.
Power moves only.
Power moves only to you.
Have no idea how they're going to make up all that money they're losing now. You know, the good people at Camel.
Oh, well, okay. Well, all I know, Scott, is every time I feel like I'm going to make an excuse, I reach down, I snap my wristband, and it helps me not to make an excuse. Power moves only. Hey, Jeremy, thanks for doing your job. Great job tonight in the studio.
Thanks, Coach.
And let's close out with the special theme song called Time Out with Coach Miller.
We're still standing.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court, and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all to be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win, and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss. Welcome to the 500 Club. We the best, my whole team tough. Close to 100 Division Ones I built up. Dedication and hard work. Step up to the court, I'm like, who ready to lose first? 14 times champs every year earned. Feet to the court, let me get in my zone. Hands grip to the ball, let me get in control. Non-stop, can't quit, that's a winner's quote. I'ma just keep doing me, hear the crowd as they cheer. 18 out of 19, coach of the year. Time out with Coach Miller, listen clear. 2 times a week, listen to me on the ear. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. It's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win, and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss. State champs, high school and JC. He was the first coach to do it in California history. Coach Miller, he can beat any team. Got shooters on the court and dunkers dunk everything. He got to win, so the plan is defeat. Been coaching on the court before he turned 18. From 08, going down to 93, he was the conference champs, home of the LACC. Youngest coach to beat 500 teams, 43. Everybody can't do it like he. A coach is something he was destined to be. Now we got a radio show to discuss some things, talking informative conversations. Listen to the real. Tuesday and Friday at night from 10 to 12. A live show, tune in and listen well. Special guests and take audience calls as well.